Welcome back, summer campers, to the last week of the Metropolitan Opera's Global Summer Camp. My name is POTUS, and I'm your camp mascot. I'm a little dog with cream fur and a splash of white on my forehead. I weigh about 6 pounds, but enough about me. Let's talk about summer camp and opera. For the Summer Camp 2021 grand finale, we have one of the most popular, hilarious, heartfelt operas of all time, Il Barbiere di Siviglia, or for those English speakers out there, the Barber of Seville. Or if you speak dog, it's pronounced oh, oh, oh. Or if you speak cat, it's pronounced Today, as always, we'll start by exploring the opera with one of our awesome camp counselors, Stephanie Holmes. Now, Stephanie lives in California, but she's currently in England. Can we get a shout out to Stephanie from our Californian and English campers? Then at 1:30 today, we're going to head over to Zoom for Get Moving Monday. Tomorrow, listen up, campers, because this is where things get crazy. We're having a special surprise activity with Anthony himself, countertenor Anthony Roth Costanzo. I love that guy, and there might be baking involved. Check your Google Classroom in advance for the supplies and ingredients you're going to want to have on hand. Then at 1:30, it's our favorite, Sing Along with Mr. Aaron. Wednesday, we'll be speaking to a member of the opera's cast in our artist chat. And then at 1:30, hold on to your hats. It's time for a special bonus arts and crafts session with the incomparable Stephanie Sign Wilson. She is a professional clown, and she's also 100% awesome. Now, there won't be a check-in this week, but if you have questions for Madama Kamala or Stephanie or anyone else, just type them up in the Google Classroom. Thursday, we've got story time with soprano Raven McMillan, and then career corner with Tashambe Selby. He has been working at the Met for years, but not always as a singer. Join us to find out more about his incredible story. And finally, on Friday, it's time for our last camper showcase and dance party. And the theme of the dance party is your favorite opera character. Come dressed to impress as your favorite character of all time. Wow, what a week! Have fun out there, campers. This has been POTUS sitting in for Susan Blackwell. Bye!
Oh my goodness! Met Opera Global Summer Campers! It is week 4 of the Met's Global Summer Camp. I can't believe how fast the time has gone by. It really does fly when we're having so much fun together. Friends, hi, if you're new, my name is Camp Counselor Dan. You can call me Dan. You can call me Spider Dan. My pronouns are he, him. I'm a white man with silvery black hair. I've got a little bit of a tan going on. I'm kind of proud of that. A signature mustache, some stubble on my cheeks, greenish brown eyes, a signature black Met Opera Voices Rise t-shirt. Behind me is a white wall with a photograph of an elephant and the chunky IKEA mirror that's always right there. Friends, I'm coming to you today from the ancestral lands of the Lenape people, also known as the Lower East Side of Manhattan. I am so delighted to be here. Campers, I love this wonderful virtual space that we've all created. And I love how respectful and fun and encouraging you are of each other. Hi, Lynn. Hi, everyone. Oh my gosh, friends, I just have so much fun with you every summer. Love it. Someone asked, can I have the IKEA mirror, please? I mean, I'm sure there's an IKEA in Saskatchewan, Tal. Is there? I don't know. Friends, this week is dedicated to our third of 3 Rossini operas, Il Barbiere di Siviglia, The Barber of Seville, which just is about the funniest opera I have ever seen performed on the Metropolitan Opera stage. And today, to discuss this opera with all of you is one of my favorite and funniest people I know, Camp Counselor Stephanie Holmes. Now, as POTUS, the Chihuahua, was just telling all of us in signature POTUS fashion, first of all, I don't think I knew that dog could talk, and I didn't think that dog knew so much about opera. Okay, that's all I gotta say. But POTUS mentioned that Stephanie, who normally lives in San Francisco, Oakland, on the west coast of the United States, is currently just about an hour or so south of London. And that is where Steph is joining us from today. So let's just get her in here. Camp Counselor Stephanie! Hi! I'm so excited. Hi.
Cheerio!
Oh my gosh. Hi. Everyone says hi. I think that's an
Hi!
Thanks for joining us today.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here.
Now, Steph, our returning campers know that you taught you had double duty last summer. You taught 2 operas. But for those who are just meeting you for the first time, can you give us a little introduction and describe yourself and your surroundings for us?
Why, yes. So, my name is Stephanie Holmes. Right now, I am in a bedroom in my uncle's house in Reigate, England. This is a closet right here. I wanted to put up a painting to break up this white wall, but they just painted, and I didn't want to upset Auntie Annette because she's very excited about these new painted walls. So this is what you got. So I wore a fancy, cool print dress to kind of break it up a little bit.
You definitely delivered in terms of fancy and cool. No matter what you're wearing, you always bring the fancy, you always bring the cool. We're so happy to have you. I understand you have a remarkable lesson prepared about your favorite.
Yes, I do.
This is one of those operas that if you are new to opera, friends, you're going to walk away from your first viewing of The Barber of Seville being like, I know that song and that song and that song and that song. And I think that is probably a large focus of what your lesson is today. So I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to let you do what you do so well.
All right.
I'll see you on the flippity dip, everybody. Bye.
Okay.
Or maybe for a joke o'clock.
I bet he will. Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about The Barber of Seville, which is an opera in 2 acts, and it's sung in Italian. The music is by Gioachino Rossini, and the libretto is by Cesare Srabini. It's based on a play, The Barber of Seville, by Pierre Beaumarchais. It was first performed February 20th, 1816 in Rome, Italy. So, Camper Dan, I think maybe you want to make the slide big and me small. Through the magic. See, Camper Dan can do anything. Okay, so next slide. As I said, my name is Stephanie Holmes. I teach at Edinburgh Middle School in Oakland, California, and normally I live in San Francisco, California. As you'll see by my fabulous bracelet, I have a thing about Lego. In fact, one good thing about the pandemic is it gave me plenty of time to play Lego. As you see pictured there is the biggest Lego set ever made, the Lego Coliseum. Yes, it took me about 2 weeks and my husband, and we didn't fight, I promise. There's my husband and I at the real the real Coliseum in Rome. And on the bottom right, you have me playing violin at my cousin's wedding. This wedding happened 3 days before the world shut down. They were one of the last weddings to happen before the pandemic. Above is pictured my wonderful in-person cohort. I only saw 8 students live this year, and there they are. And as you can tell, like me, they have trouble expressing themselves. All right, so today we're going to go over the history of The Barber of Seville. I'm going to introduce you to the characters and the libretto, and we're going to listen to some highlights as well as learn about the activities that you can participate in this week. So here we have pictured Rossini. He was born on February 29th, 1792 in Pesaro, a town on the Adriatic coast of Italy. Both of his parents were musicians. His father played horn, and his mother was an opera singer. Fun fact, he wrote 39 operas in 19 years, and he retired at age 37. Here is a portrait of Rossini at age 29. In 1804, the Rossini family moves to Bologna. Young Gioachino is a talented musician who already enjoys an active career as a performer, and he begins formal studies in composition. Soon, he will begin composing individual arias for operas being performed in the area. Rossini went on tour with his mom. She sang comic operas. By age 14, you could say he had theater in his blood. He went to school in Lugano, where he studied a great deal in the library, something I like to do too. He studied the scores of Haydn and Mozart. They had a huge impact on his style. Rossini's first opera was a short farce, and it was performed in Venice in 1810. Although his next opera would not be performed until October 1811, Rossini's career soon gains tremendous momentum, and he writes 7 more operas in the next 16 months. The arts are clearly valued in Italy. Rossini was going to enter the military, but the government decided that he was more valuable to Italy as a composer than a soldier, and he was excluded from military service. How cool is that? Next slide, please. In 1813, Rossini gets the first taste of international fame. He composed The Italian Girl in Algeria. It is still regularly performed today. Barbiere was completed in 18 days. He was waiting on the libretto, and the librettist died. So he was replaced with Cesare Strabini. He knew he wanted to stage this, so I think he spent some time thinking about it beforehand. On February 20th, 1816, the Barber of Seville premieres in Rome. Some sources maintain that Rossini composes music in 9 days. The opening night was a flop. Basilio, a character you're going to learn about in a moment, sang an aria with a bloody nose because he tripped on a trap door. A cat made its way on stage and refused to leave, and it was forcibly flung into the wings. Don't tell Dr. Kamala, she would not like that. In August, following some slight revisions, the opera is performed again in Bologna, this time to thunderous acclaim. The Barber of Seville is performed in 8 more cities in Italy, as well as in Barcelona. The opera's popularity continues to expand. The following year, it will be performed 22 times in London, where I'm very close by right now. A year after that, it will grace the stage in Berlin. It'll be performed in Vienna, Edinburgh, St. Petersburg, and New York. In fact, in 1825, The Barber of Seville is the first opera ever performed in Italian in New York City. We're ready for the next slide. In 1829, Rossini's final opera, William Tell, premieres in Paris. Following this work, Rossini falls silent for the remaining 4 decades of his life. He will never write another large-scale opera. Instead, he turns his attention to his accumulated wealth and to cooking and exchanging recipes with famous chefs. On February 10th, the 500th performance of William Tell takes place in Paris. A few months later, on November 13th, 1868, Rossini dies in its villa in a Parisian suburb. He is buried in Paris. According to the Grove Dictionary of Music and Musicians, Rossini is one of the most important Italian composers of the first half of the 19th century. What I'd like to share with you now is 3 Rossini quotes. The first one is, "Wait until the evening before opening night. Nothing primes inspiration more than necessity, whether it be the presence of a copyist waiting for your work or the prodding of an impresario tearing out his hair. I wrote the overture of La Gazzaladra the day before opening night under the roof of Scala Theatre, where I had been imprisoned by the director and 4 stagehands. For Barbiere, I did better. I did not even compose an overture. I just took one I already wrote for an opera called Elisabetta. The public was very pleased." That Rossini, what a guy. Quote number 2. "Every kind of music is good, except for the boring kind." Number 3. "Eating, loving, singing, and digesting are, in truth, the 4 acts of a comic opera known as life. They pass like bubbles out of a champagne bottle. Whomever lets them break without having enjoyed them is a complete fool." Now, let's talk about the man that wrote the play that Barbiere is based on. Next slide, please. Okay, someone is sharing that that's exactly how they write. Yes, I myself am a reformed procrastinator. Being a teacher for 30 years has kind of beat that out of me because it doesn't work very well. So now we're going to talk about Pierre Beaumarchais. He was a watchmaker, inventor, musician, politician, invalid, fugitive, spy, publisher, arms dealer, and revolutionary, both French and American. He was best known, however, for his dramatic works, especially the 3 Figaro plays. The Marriage of Figaro served as the basis for Mozart's opera. His life and works reflect the tumultuous period in which he lived, including the first phase of the French Revolution. His Figaro cycle covers the breakdown of the old medieval world and the birth pangs of a new democratic world. Beaumarchais' Figaro plays are The Barber of Seville, The Marriage of Figaro, and The Guilty Mother. These plays are of historical significance as the trilogy spans the most turbulent period of French history. Figaro and Count Almaviva, the 2 characters Beaumarchais most likely conceived in his travel in Spain, were the only ones represented in all 3 plays. They are indicative of the change in social attitudes before, during, and after the French Revolution. The 2 began a formal master and servant relationship in Barber of Seville. They became rivals over Suzanne in The Marriage of Figaro, and they formally joined hands to thwart evil schemes in the call for reconciliation in the final play, The Guilty Mother. Next slide, please. A librettist is a person that writes the text of an opera. Italian librettist Cesare Sterbini is best known today for his collaboration with Rossini on Barber. Sterbini was born in Rome. In addition to his work as a librettist, he was a poet and official of the Vatican Treasury. He was also fluent in Greek, Latin, French, and German. He wrote his first libretto, Paolo e Virginia, in 1812 for Vincenzo Migliorocci. Sterbini first worked with Rossini on Tovalado e Dorlisca in 1815, replacing Jacopo Ferretti. He followed with The Barber of Seville, which became Sterbini's greatest and most lasting achievement. So we are going to continue our wonderful tradition of joke o'clock. Next slide shows my joke for The Barber of Seville. Here we have The Barber of Seville. Get it? Get it? And unfortunately, those 2 characters, I played both those roles in the 80s. Both haircuts, both outfits, I'm owning it. The 80s were a confusing time, kids. All right, so, hello, Dan.
Did someone say joke o'clock?
Why, yes, I did.
Oh my gosh. I love a good joke o'clock, and I love hearing you laugh. These campers have some great jokes this summer. Let's see what we have here. Okay.
All right.
This is from Levi in Nakuru, Kenya. What kind of music does a frog like? Kermit. I don't know. R&B. Ribbit? No. Oh, hip hop.
Clearly.
That's
Good
a really
one.
good one. Okay.
I am using that one first week of school. I need
Okay.
those jokes.
All right. This is from Tara in Ann Arbor, Michigan, in the United States. What did the robbers take from the music store? This is, everything? I don't know. This is tricky. What did the robbers take from the music store? Tara in Ann Arbor. The loot! That's a really good one.
That is really good.
Really, really good.
Oh my gosh. I am totally stealing these jokes.
Oh my goke. Maybe I'll come back later for some more joke o'clock. See ya.
All right, bye. So this leads me to what I was going to talk about, opera buffa. In Italian, it means comic opera. It originated in Naples in the mid-18th century, and it developed from the intermezzi or interludes performed between the acts of serious operas. Opera buffa's plots center on 2 groups of characters, a comic group of male and female characters, as well as a pair or more of lovers. The dialogue is sung. The operatic finale is long and formally organized, and it's a conclusion of the opera's act. It includes all principal characters. You will see that Barbiere follows all of these guidelines. So Dan, it is time for our first mentee. And please, my friends, go to mentee.com and use that code 1466-2310. And what I'm asking you is, what does a barber do? Okay, historically, what does a barber do? Please, to share. And Dan, if you make the mentee big, I can see what the kids are writing.
I think I'm going to join you because I want to see what they come up with.
Right?
All right, friends, we're going
So
to
exciting.
mentee.com.
Okay, cuts hair, truth.
Hair. All right.
Okay, think outside the box, kids. Gossip. Okay, all right. Shave. Yep.
Surgery.
Oh, ding, 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 ding. Extra
True.
points. True.
Cut hair. Something. Leeches. Oh, yes. They would bleed people with leeches.
Yes. Yes. You.
I'm trying to read that one. Pulls teeth. Pulls teeth. Yes.
Yes. True. True.
Sweeney Todd pulls teeth.
Right.
And everything else. Let's see. Wow. This is good.
All right. These guys know about Barbie.
Fun.
Wow. All right. Thank you,
Very
guys.
Good.
This is these kids are awesome. I
can never get over
I love this group.
Me too.
I love these guys. All right, so let's meet the characters of the opera. Here we have Figaro. He is a barber, and he is a baritone, and he's played by Christopher Maltman. The barber of Seville is clever and resourceful. Figaro helps Count Almaviva and Rosina overcome the many obstacles on the path to true love. So you guys were totally right in the mentee. The barber pole is a familiar symbol around the world, yet few people know what it symbolizes, but I think you guys do. It symbolizes the medical activities that many barbers once practiced. The red and white spiral stripes represent the bandage with which the barber wrapped the patient after bloodletting. Ew! Figaro is much more than a barber or surgeon. He could take care of everything, so he called himself a factotum, an employee who does all kinds of work. He's a jack of all trades, matchmaker, veterinarian, pharmacist, letter carrier, and yes, he could even give shaves and haircuts. Next, we have Rosina. She's played by Isabel Leonard, and she's a soprano. She's a wealthy young lady from Seville. Beautiful and independent, Rosina will not allow Dr. Bartolo to stand between her and Lindoro, the man she loves. Next, we have Count Almaviva, played by Lawrence Brownlee. He is a tenor. A Spanish count in love with Rosina, Count Almaviva needs Figaro's help to win the woman of his dreams. Over the course of the opera, Almaviva will adopt many different disguises. And I'm sure you figured out right now, but I have the Lego version and the real version, because soon there will be Lego movie. Okay, so next we have Don Alonso. He is, oh wait, no, I'm sorry. We have Lindoro. Yeah, that. We have Lindoro, a poor student, and he's one of Count's disguises. Hoping he'd be loved by Rosina for himself and not for his money, Count Almaviva disguises himself as the poor student Lindoro. Next, we have Don Alonso. He's a music teacher and another disguise. In order to be close to Rosina, Count Almaviva dresses as Don Alonso, a supposed student of Don Basilio, to give Rosina her singing lesson. Next, we have Dr. Bartolo, played by Maurizio Morano. This is Rosina's guardian. He is a baritone. He is a greedy schemer. Dr. Bartolo hopes to marry his ward Rosina in order to get her money. Next, we have Don Basilio. He's played by Pata Brucellozzi. He is a bass. He is a music teacher and Dr. Bartolo's accomplice. Don Basilio has a trick or two up his sleeve to keep Rosina away from Count Almaviva. Next, we have Berta, played by Claudia White. and she is a soprano. She is the maid, and she also happens to be the voice of sanity throughout this opera. We also have Ambrosio, the butler, played by Rob Besser, and he is full of comic antics that you will enjoy. So, I made another stop-motion Lego movie. Here, please to enjoy the synopsis a la Lego. Act 1, Seville, Spain. Count Almaviva, a Spanish nobleman, is in love with Rosina. Hoping to be loved for himself and not for his money, the Count has disguised himself as a poor student named Lindoro to woo her. As the opera begins, Lindoro comes to serenade Rosina outside the home of Dr. Bartolo, where Rosina lives under lock and key. Soon Figaro, the barber who knows all the secrets of the town, arrives. Recognizing Lindoro as Count Almaviva, he tells the Count that Bartolo is not actually Rosina's father, but her guardian. In fact, Bartolo plans to marry her in order to get her fortune. Figaro hatches a plan. He suggests that the Count disguise himself again, this time as a soldier, and demand lodging in Bartolo's residence. This way he will be close to Rosina. Almaviva is overjoyed, and Figaro is looking forward to a nice cash payoff. Rosina, alone in her room, thinks about the voice she heard serenading her a short while before, and she admits that she has fallen in love with the singer. Knowing that Bartolo will never allow her to contact the unknown man, she decides to send Lindoro a letter by way of Figaro. Figaro arrives, but before Rosina can speak with him, Bartolo appears with Don Basilio, Rosina's music teacher. Basilio tells Bartolo that Count Almaviva has been seen in Seville. Bartolo, who knows that Almaviva is in love with Rosina, is furious, and the cunning Basilio suggests they get rid of the Count by spreading wicked rumors about him. Bartolo decides to marry Rosina that very day, and he and Basilio leave to prepare the marriage contract. Figaro, who has overheard the plot, warns Rosina, and when Rosina asks Figaro about the handsome young man she saw outside her window, Figaro says that it was the student Lindoro and promises to deliver a letter to him. Bartolo, deeply suspicious, accuses Rosina of writing a letter to a secret lover. Just at that moment, shouting is heard. Count Almaviva, now disguised as a drunken soldier, has arrived at Bartolo's home. Bartolo claims that he has an official exemption from providing housing to soldiers, and in the commotion, Almaviva manages to reveal to Rosina that he is in fact Lindoro, and to pass a letter of his own. Bartolo demands that Rosina hand over the note, but she tricks him by giving her a laundry list instead. The argument grows more heated, and Figaro, Don Basilio, and the servant woman Berta burst in, announcing that the shouting can be heard throughout the city. Soldiers arrive to arrest the drunken soldier, and when he reveals that he is actually the Count, the soldiers promptly release him. Everyone, except Figaro, is amazed by this turn of events, and the main characters sing a finale together, reflecting on the chaos of the day. Act 2. Bartolo is still suspicious and suggests that perhaps the drunken soldier was a spy for Count Almaviva. The Count returns, and this time disguised as Don Alonso, a music teacher and student of Don Basilio, to give Rosina her singing lesson. Basilio, he claims, is ill. Bartolo is skeptical until Don Alonso shows him Rosina's letter to Lindoro, claiming to have found it in Count Almaviva's lodgings. He says that he will use it to convince Rosina that Lindoro is merely toying with her on Almaviva's behalf. This convinces Bartolo that Don Alonso is indeed a student of the scheming Basilio, and he allows the lesson to go ahead. Bartolo finds the music boring and soon nods off. He snores. Almaviva, who Rosina believes to be Lindoro, and Rosina declare their love. Figaro arrives to shave Dr. Bartolo. Bartolo is reluctant to leave Rosina alone with the singing teacher and sends Figaro to fetch towels. Figaro, always resourceful, uses the opportunity to steal the key to Rosina's balcony door, then causes a diversion, forcing Bartolo to leave the two young lovers alone. Suddenly, Don Basilio, the true singing teacher, arrives. Figaro, Almaviva, and Rosina bribe him to leave. While Bartolo gets his shave, Almaviva plots with Rosina to meet on the balcony that night so they can elope, but Bartolo overhears them and flies into a rage. The elderly maid Berta comments on the crazy household. Bartolo summons Basilio, telling him to bring a notary so that Bartolo can marry Rosina right away. Bartolo then shows Rosina the letter she wrote to Lindoro, calling it proof that Lindoro is in league with the Count.
Heartbroken and convinced that she has been deceived, Rosina agrees to marry Bartolo. While a thunderstorm rages outside, Figaro and Almaviva climb the ladder to Rosina's balcony. Rosina appears and confronts Lindoro, who finally reveals his true identity. Basilio shows up with the notary, but, bribed and threatened, he agrees to be a witness to the marriage of Rosina and Almaviva. Bartolo arrives with soldiers, but it's too late. He accepts that he has been beaten, and Figaro, Rosina, and the Count celebrate this happy ending.
So there you have it. So that is the synopsis. Oh, thank you, Daniel. So I posted that video in the Google Classroom if you want to check it out again. And Regina and everybody, Regina loves stop motion. You're going to have an opportunity to make a stop motion. Warning, it is a little time consuming, but really, really fun. See? Woohoo! Okay, so let's go back to the slideshow. So now that we know the characters, let's walk through some of the highlights. Traditionally, each opera begins with an overture. An overture is a piece of music that the orchestra plays at the beginning of an opera or a ballet. The word comes from the French word meaning opening because it opens the show. Overtures usually have tunes which are to be heard during the opera or ballet. In this way, it prepares the audience for what is to come. Rossini wrote some wonderful overtures that continue to be played frequently today. The overture of the Barber of Seville was first written for a different opera. Rossini believed in recycling. So did Bach and Handel. I've posted these overtures on the Google Classroom if you'd like to check them out. There's the Barber of Seville, the Thieving Magpie, the Italian Girl in Algiers, and William Tell. If you watch William Tell, be sure to watch till the end. It's worth it.
Okay, so the Count first enters from the audience. He goes across a passerelle. A passerelle is the French word that means footbridge or gangway. In the theater, this refers to a small catwalk that extends from one side of the stage to the other, passing in front of the orchestra pit. Besides increasing the total stage area, this design allows performers to be closer to the audience. This is the first time that the Met used a passerelle. In the next slide, we're going to learn about Largo al Factorum, make way for the Factorum. This aria is sung in Figaro's first entrance. The repeated Figaros before the final patter section are an icon of popular culture and operatic singing. The term Factorum refers to a general servant and comes from Latin, which literally means do everything. Now, this clip is not going to make the site explode because it is on YouTube and we're only showing the first 2 minutes. So I think we're okay. Or do we not chance it? Dan, what do you think?
I think what we'll do is we'll post the link to this for everyone to watch, but we can use the Met Opera clips because those belong to us. Okay?
Okay. All right.
All right.
So
great.
This next clip is on the Google Classroom. Please check it out. It's got some really funny musical quotes, and it has Sylvester the Cat singing Figaro. So let's hear the real Largo Factorum. It is a patter song. A patter song is characterized by moderately fast to very fast tempo, a rapid succession of rhythmic patterns in which each syllable of text corresponds to one note. It's a staple of comic opera, especially in Gilbert and Sullivan. It's also been used in musicals and elsewhere. You will also find it in Mozart, Donizetti, and Offenbach. My favorite patter song is Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious from Mary Poppins. Here is Largo al Factorum.
Figaro, 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 Figaro. Ahimè, ahimè, che furia, ahimè, che folla, uno alla volta, per carità, per carità, per carità. Uno alla volta, uno alla volta, per carità. Figaro. Figaro, son qua, e Figaro, son qua, Figaro qua, Figaro là, Figaro qua, Figaro là, Figaro su, Figaro giù, Figaro su, Figaro giù, pronto questo son tre fighi, sono fa colpo delle città, nella città. Ah, bravo Figaro, bravo bravissima, ah, bravo Figaro, bravo bravissima, ad fortuna, non mi cherrà, ad fortuna, non mi cherrà, sono factotum della città, della città,
All right. So next I have another aria for you, and this is Una voce poco fa. I am sweet and gentle. In this aria, Rossina tells her tale. It is fabulous. You will see that she's going to spread some snuff around. Snuff is a smokeless tobacco that you used to sniff, and sometimes it made you sneeze. And you will find out that this makes her captors all sneeze. Please enjoy. I am sweet and gentle.
I'm sweet and gentle, always respectful, never judgmental, never neglectful. You would invite me, just ask politely. I'm good as gold, I'll do as I'm told. But if I'm pushed around, I'm sure to stand my ground. I won't be tender, sweet or kind. 100 tricks of plenty I have my way. A crafty vision he will find. He won't know what to do. He will be black and blue. A crafty vixen he will find. 100 traps I'll lay. I'm sure to have my way. I'll win the day, I'll win the day. So many tricks I'll play, I'll win the day. So many tricks I'll play, I'll win the day, I'll win the day.
All right. So there are a few more highlights of Act 1 I'd like to go over. One of them is Slander is a Breeze. This is an aria that is sung by Don Basilio, and it's about his plans to slander Almaviva. The conclusion of Act 1 is amazing. The main words of the finale are, "My head feels like it is being pounded on like an anvil," and they have a giant anvil that the poor butler must deal with. I believe the art director, like me, loves cartoons. So on our next slide, we have some highlights from Act 2. This is where we have the singing lesson of Don Alonso, and it is hilarious. There are lots of funny comments on taste, and it still translates to today. Older folks think younger folks have bad taste in music. It's eternal. There is also a tempest as Almaviva goes to marry Rosina, and we will have an activity about tempest that I'll go over in a minute. This photo is from Al Quai Coppa Inspettato, the duet between Rosina and the Count, with interjections from Figaro. It tells of the couple's love for each other as they prepare to wed. In the next slide, I'd like to talk about coloratura. It's an elaborate melody with runs, trills, wide leaps, or similar virtuoso-like material. Coloratura is particularly found in the vocal music of the 18th and 19th century. Isabel Leonard and Lawrence Brownlee are masters of this. Stop Resisting Anymore is the tenor aria that closes Act 2. It's so difficult that it was dropped from the opera shortly after its premiere. So rapid was the disappearance that Rossini reused it in Cinderella, written the following year. It is a great vehicle for an amazing tenor. Please enjoy Lawrence Brownlee singing his final aria.
Non fuggite a stati nella mia felicità. Non fuggite a stati della mia
So as you can see, you have a lot to look forward to this week. So I'd like to do one final Menti before we have to go. And here is the code again. And what I'm going to ask you all is, which aria did you enjoy the most? Was it Largo al Factorum? Was it Stop Resisting Anymore? Or was it I Am Sweet and Gentle? Okay, so it looks like Figaro is in the lead. Oh, okay. It is tied. Ooh, all right. Isabel's in the lead. Okay. Oh. Okay. As I might have suspected, the patter song wins. Patter songs usually do bring the house down every single time. And you are going to enjoy this so much. So thank you for participating. So what I'd like to go over now is some activities that we have to do this week. Do as much or as many or as few as you have time for. I know you guys are busy. And like for me, this is my last week of summer. Next week, I start school again. So I have an activity called Fun with Rossini Overtures. And I posted the 4 different overtures that I described previously. Also, you can create your own costumes for Barbiere. You can also create your own sets. And if you make drawings or whatever you make, however you create, because I know you guys are amazingly creative, please post it in the Google Classroom so I can check them out in our camper showcase. You also have an opportunity to review Barbiere. Like me, you can make a stop motion film. And I also posted a puppet version of Barbiere. It was made in the early 90s for the BBC, and it is sung in English, and it's with marionette puppets. It's wonderful. It's about 28 minutes long. It's fabulous, and it won't break the YouTube, I promise, because it's on YouTube. I also have an activity on operatic tempest. So tempest is a storm. So when Almaviva goes to wed Rosina, there is a storm, and storms often occur in operas, and you can watch several different operatic tempests, my favorite. I also posted the entire score. If you, like me, like to follow along with the score, you have your opportunity to do so. Another thing that I really enjoy is the backstory. So you can read the source text of The Barber of Seville, the play that Beaumarchais wrote, that is very, very closely tied to the opera. And that's what we have for the week. That is your introduction to Barbiere. What do you think, Dan?
Oh my gosh, that was such a great lesson. Thank you so much, Steph.
Sorry about blowing up YouTube.
Oh my gosh, who knew we could break YouTube? We did it, campers. We did it. We finally broke YouTube. I'm very.
What?
I'm a little nervous and kind of proud, frankly. Who knew it would take?
It's the space I live in pretty much all the time.
Oh my gosh, friends, thank you so much for being here. Camp Counselor Steph, can you hang with us for just a quick moment? I want to just go through a few little announcements with everyone. So as POTUS the Chihuahua told all of us at the top of the hour, we have a number of very, very exciting activities. Coming up in about a half hour, 34 minutes by my watch, we have our dancing classroom friends will be meeting on Zoom to teach a festive dance inspired by Rossini's Barber of Seville. If you need to gain the link for that Zoom, you can always email us. You'll get a bounce back email. It'll contain the link in it. Tuesday, tomorrow, July 27th at noon. Are you ready? I know Chihuahua, POTUS the Chihuahua already told us this, but Anthony Roth Costanzo, the great countertenor star of the Metropolitan Opera and one of our favorite people on the planet, is coming here to teach a lesson in, of course, baking, because he is a master baker as well as an amazing singer. So join us and Anthony Roth Costanzo tomorrow. I think all of the ingredients are in the Google Classroom, but again, see that? You can email us and you will get a list of everything that you need for tomorrow. So be prepared. It's going to be super fun. And then after that, we have Sing Along with Mr. Aaron. So that's the next 2 days of camp handled for you. And remember, on Wednesday at 5 p.m. until Friday at 5 p.m., you can watch this amazing opera, Il Barbiere di Siviglia. Now you know all about it. Friends, I think that's all I have for today. And if anything else comes up, you have a question, you can always go to medopera.org/summer camp. Pretty much any question that you have can be answered there. But again, you can always email us. And don't forget to tag us at MedOperaStudent, #MedOperaCamp. We love that. All right. Steph, can you think of anything that I'm forgetting?
Well, I just wanted to say that if anybody has any questions about anything for me or Dr. Kamala, please put it in the Google Classroom, and we'll be checking that very, very often. So please, any questions, let us know.
Thank you. Yep, absolutely. And if you don't know how to access the Google Classroom, if this is your first week of camp, there you go. Just email us there. We'll get you all set up. We're happy to help. Please, please ask. All right, friends, I think that is all we have for now. So I will see you, and oof, it's getting close. We got about 31 minutes left until dancing classrooms. So I'll see you soon. I think we should go out with more of Lawrence Brownlee's magnificent singing. What do you think?
I agree.
Let's take a look.
Non fuggite a di stare, nella mia felicità. Non fuggite a di stare della mia felicità. Felicità